Hey guys, Saki from SAKITECH, and in today's video what we're going to do is we are going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is Samsung's flagship smartphone, to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is iPhone's flagship smartphone. Now in this video what we're going to do is we're going to dive in and look at all the specs side by side, and this is going to be a preliminary review, so make sure you're subscribed for the full in-depth comparison. But in this video we'll look at the display, the build, the processor, the performance, the camera, and try to get a conclusion on which one is the better smartphone. So let's dive in and get started. The very first thing I want to compare is the build and the design of the smartphone. Now, as is the case with flagship models for both of these smartphones, the build quality on both of these smartphones is excellent. They use the latest material, and each phone is going to feel like $1 million in your hand. You can see on the rear we have two different designs. Now that's going to be up to you. Design is a subjective choice. Personally, I do like the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra's design better from the rear. Now when we move on to the front, things have changed a little bit with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The traditional notch has gone, which I never liked anyway, and now it is replaced with a pill-shaped cutout in the display. It is still much larger than the one that you have on the S22 Ultra. It is a circular hole punch cutout which houses the camera only, but the iPhone 14 Pro Max now has that pill-shaped cutout which houses the camera and the Face ID sensor. I do have to admit that now the iPhone 14 Pro Max looks a little bit more futuristic. The notch, again in my opinion, was a disaster. Now I think it looks much better, but still not as good as the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, simply because of the fact that the hole punch is much smaller, and as you watch movies, as you enjoy media, it is going to be much less intrusive. Now beyond that, both of these phones have water resistance. They have IP68 water resistance rating. Both of these phones have wireless charging. The build quality is top notch. Like I said, they do feel like $1 million in your hands. So far, in relation to the build and design, the phones appear to be on an equal footing. And like I said, the S22 Ultra does look more modern, it does look more clean, it does look more futuristic. Now let's move on and talk about the processor, performance, and all that stuff. So first and foremost, the S22 Ultra has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. It starts at 128 gigabyte storage, and it does have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now the starting price of the S22 Ultra is $1,200. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a brand new A16 Bionic chip. The minimum storage starts at 128 gigabytes, and the pricing for the iPhone 14 Pro Max actually is lower. It starts at $1,100. So we do have a $100 price difference between these two smartphones. An iPhone is going to be the cheaper smartphone. Now when it comes to performance, we'll get into more details in a later video. However, I'll let you know right away that even the A15 Bionic chip on last year's iPhone 13 Pro Max is faster than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor on the S22 Ultra. So A16 is going to be even faster. The iPhone always wins in performance, in raw performance power. They make the chips in-house. The hardware, the software comes from the same company, which is Apple, which leads to better performance and better optimization across software and hardware. So if you're just looking for the phone that is going to be the fastest in raw horsepower, when it comes to benchmarks, when it comes to editing videos that could be 4K videos, the iPhone is going to win. Neither phone has a micro SD expansion capability. So in this category of performance, I think the iPhone wins. It is cheaper and it has the faster processor. So that's that. Now let's quickly talk about the display. The display on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is a 6.8-inch display, which is larger than the one on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is a 6.7-inch display. So you're getting more real estate on the S22 Ultra, which is what I prefer. I prefer the larger the display, the better. And also because it has a smaller cutout, that makes it more immersive when you're watching movies and all that good stuff. But as far as the quality of these displays go, both iPhone and Samsung are known for making amazing displays. In fact, Samsung supplies the displays for the iPhone. So the quality, the sharpness, the brightness, the clarity of these displays are going to be on equal footing. Both of them have 120 Hz refresh rate for smooth scrolling and smooth operation. Really, the only big thing here is the iPhone has a bigger pill-shaped cutout that takes out more of the display, and the display is smaller. So in this category, I would give the win by a slight margin to the S22 Ultra. Now let's quickly talk about the software. When it comes to software, it is the same story. You have iOS versus Android and Samsung's One UI overlay that they put atop Android. One of them is highly customizable, the other one has limited customization, but it is a known fact that iOS software is a little bit more fluid and consistent overall when it comes to overall software smoothness is concerned. But it simply is not as customizable as the Samsung smartphones. Samsung smartphones have more software features, which to me is very important because you pay a lot of money for a phone. The more features it has, the better. I'm not the one for a minimalist when it comes to software features. So for example, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra has the S Pen. The S Pen allows you to write, take notes, remote control your device with the S Pen from a distance, and also unlocks all kinds of software possibilities just by having the S Pen. That alone puts the Samsung on a different level because it has this additional dimension of functionality that basically no other phone has. It also has gorgeous video wallpapers that you can apply on your lock screen, and because it is Android, it is fully customizable in every aspect. If you want to, you can use the feature known as Samsung DeX to convert this into a little desktop computer on which you can get a lot of work done. So features like that the iPhone 14 Pro Max does not have, but as a result, because it is less lightweight, like I said, it's a little bit more smoother and consistent overall. Software is going to boil down to your personal choice. Do you want refined simplicity or do you want customizable complexity? Now I'm going to quickly mention the battery life. Of course, we are going to be running some real tests later. But if I had to guess, because the iPhone 13 Pro Max has better battery life than the S22 Ultra, so will the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you're looking for battery life, the 14 Pro Max is going to be the way to go unless the tests prove otherwise, which I highly doubt. But when it comes to fast charging, the S22 Ultra has faster charging and also has one additional feature known as the reverse wireless charging. You can use the S22 Ultra to charge your Galaxy Buds, to charge other smartphones and stuff like that. The iPhone does not have those features. It does not have reverse wireless charging, and it does not charge as fast. It's going to take over 1 hour to charge the iPhone, 1 hour and 30 minutes, but the S22 Ultra charges from 0 to 100 within an hour. Alright, so let's now move on and talk about the cameras. So the iPhone has a triple camera system. We have a brand new 48 megapixel camera sensor. That's a first for an iPhone. For a long time, it has been 12, 12, 12. Now we have a 48 megapixel main camera sensor. That means it's going to take better photos. Then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera. The S22 Ultra has a quad camera system. We have a main 108 megapixel camera. Then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, just like the iPhone. And then we do have two telephoto cameras, 10 megapixels each. So we have 3 cameras versus 4 cameras. And the biggest difference is going to be the fact that the S22 Ultra has the more extreme camera system, meaning it has capabilities like 8K video recording that the iPhone 14 Pro Max does not have. That one is limited to 4K recording for now. Also, the S22 Ultra's telephoto capabilities are far superior. You can have up to 100 times digital zoom. With the iPhone, you're maxed out at 15 times digital zoom. So both cameras overall are going to be fantastic cameras. We'll see what happens in real life tests, but the S22 Ultra is going to retain the more extreme options. Beyond that, in my opinion, the average consumer can't really tell a difference between two flagship camera systems. If you pixel peep, you might see some differences, but mostly it's not going to matter. Alright, so we have looked at just about everything. Now let's just summarize. Let's look at what the advantages of the iPhone are over the S22, and then S22 advantages over the iPhone. Let's first look at the iPhone. So the iPhone is going to have better battery life. It's going to have faster performance because of that faster chip. And it does have better price. It's $100 cheaper than the S22 Ultra. And that's for the iPhone advantages. Now, S22 Ultra advantages are as follows. We do have the overall, in my opinion, the better looking display with the smaller cutout. We do have additional features like the reverse wireless charging and faster charging. We also have S Pen capability that basically no other phone has. And the S22 Ultra does have more software features. And finally, it does have some extreme camera capabilities like the 100 times zoom that actually works, and also the 8K recording option. So you can see in some categories the iPhone is better, in some categories the S22 Ultra is better. Over time, the gap seems to be getting smaller and smaller, but as of now, the S22 Ultra still has more features than the iPhone. So that does make it the better phone overall, even though another important thing is now it is more expensive than the iPhone. It's $100 more, so you get a couple more extra options with it. And of course, otherwise, both phones have great displays, solid cameras, superb build quality, and such. I would still choose the S22 Ultra over the iPhone as my daily driver. But again, it does look like it comes to personal preference. And like we said, both phones have their own advantages that you want to look at and take your pick based on that. So drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Which one do you think is better? And if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, also drop them down. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.